So it's May 1979. Take yourself back. Wait, you weren't even born. Anyway.
I was not.
Thatcher walks into number 10 Downing Street. There it was. And immediately starts kicking the tires, Amanda, and lighting the fires. She is ready to go.
What'd she do?
Guns a-blazing. Oh, she did a bunch of shit. Okay. So full disclosure, when she walked in, shit was kind of messy in the United Kingdom, right? The Labour Party, it's like here, Democrats, Republicans, like the whole thing, right? So Labour Party screwed some shit up, right? There were strikes, inflation, unemployment. Everything was out of control. So good old Thatch launched a new economic policy that later became known as Thatcherism, concentrating on free market reforms, cutting taxes, selling off state-owned industries like British Telecom, British Airways. They sold British Airways, and pushed to reduce the power of all the trade unions because they were getting way too big for themselves. So she spent a ton of time working on controlling inflation, which had been spiraling out of control for years and years before her. Do you remember Ronald Reagan in Reaganomics? I don't know if did you read about Reaganomics or know anything about Reaganomics?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So Reaganomics in America, like early 80s, was basically the same thing as Thatcherism in the UK around the same time. So both helped their respective countries from the economic mess they were in and turn them back into stable, competitive economies again.
So like Reagan and her best friends?
They were totally best friends.
Oh, good.
Oh my God, yeah. Like on the big stuff. Yes. They basically like believed in the economy the same way, ran the country the same way. That's what got me into starting to listen to politics in the first place, because Reagan and Margaret Thatcher were, I don't want to say 99% of the time on the same page, but a lot. Yes. They were absolutely like besties, for sure.
So good. And
so
also
good.
wonder what that would look like today.
I don't know.
But we don't get into politics. Okay.
So
moving on. If you're looking at their countries and what they were doing for their countries internally, it sounds like they were kind of on the same page, right? Or they were besties, however.
Yeah.
But like externally, because I can't even, again, envision it for today, they were separate countries looking out for their own well-being. So how were they on external affairs or foreign affairs?
Yeah, foreign affairs. Right. That's a good question. For the most part, I think they agreed on foreign affairs. But yes, because they're across the Atlantic from each other, they did have different interests. Nuclear weapons was a good example of where they sort of did not agree. It was a big push for Reagan where he was trying to get rid of nuclear weapons.
Only that was successful.
Right, that was his whole thing. And Thatcher didn't agree because she thought she needed them to show strength because she was, again, different parts of the world.
Yeah. Right,
they were a lot closer to Russia than we were, so that was a whole thing. And then the Falkland Islands War, I don't you remember, 1982?
Wasn't born.
Okay, fine.
So tell me.
So they didn't super agree on it, but Reagan ended up backing her. So Falkland Islands were a group of islands about 300 miles off the coast of Argentina that England discovered back in the 1500s and used as a settlement. They formally named it a territory in the early 1800s and controlled it for 150 years, like all the way up to 1982. But in 1982, Argentina got this bug up their butt and they were like, hold on a second, why does England think they control all this? Why is that fair? They're 8,000 miles away and we're only 300 miles away. It's ours. But they said that all in Spanish because they don't speak English, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
So in April 1982, Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands, thinking that Britain wasn't going to do anything to try to bother and defend it because the island was so far away. What the fuck for, right? But Thatcher was absolutely not having any of it. Have you seen Tombstone?
No.
Do you remember Tombstone? Kurt Russell plays Wyatt Earp? No? Of course not. Okay. So there's a...
How are we friends? Sorry.
I love my movies. So there's a scene in it. I'm digressing. I get it. Okay. Where the cowboys just killed one of Wyatt Earp's brothers and Wyatt meets him at the train station and gives him this message. And it's one of the best scenes in all of cinema. And he goes, "You called down the thunder. Well, now you've got it. You tell him I'm coming and hell's coming with me." Gives me chills every time. You need to watch Tombstone, please. Okay, anyway, I went to Tombstone, Arizona just so I could see where he said that. Okay,
commitment.
Anyway, my point is that was Thatcher, okay, but not that dramatic. So she goes and she sends the British Navy 8,000 miles away. It took them about 2 months, but they ended up obviously kicking the shit out of the Argentines. Who are we kidding? I love, because that's where my wife is from. But Britain won. They sent Argentina back home. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal to anybody outside of England or Argentina, but it was super important because it got a lot of British people looking at this as sort of the turning point of her whole leadership. Because she was only 2 years into her leadership by this time. So if they didn't think she could handle the job in the first place, this sort of made them decide, okay, she can handle foreign affairs. She just sort of fucking killed it. And that boosted her whole Iron Lady image, right? So Reagan didn't want to get involved. He thought it was meh, this is so stupid. Why don't you let this go? But he had to make a choice, so he ended up backing her and helping her in case he needed. We didn't have to do anything or get involved, but we did support.
Told her we support.
We supported. Yeah.
Is this when she got her title, the Iron Lady, officially?
No. She already had it by that time.
Oh.
No, I was saving it for a fun fact, but I'm going to tell you because it's cool. So actually, it came from a Soviet newspaper in 1976, before she was even prime minister. And it was actually meant as an insult.
I mean, if it was from the Soviet Union, I feel like it should
totally.
be.
Yeah. She had just given, I guess, a pretty tough anti-communist speech, like a warning against the evils of the Soviet Union. And a Soviet newspaper called the Red Star coined the term and mocked her as the Iron Lady, totally meant as an insult because she was being so cold and so rigid.
Huh.
But she owned that shit and flipped it and decided to own it and make it her credo.
Again.
Yeah.
She just had that like mental
fortitude.
That's a good word.
That was it. Fortitude.
Yep.
Yeah. Then her and Reagan basically dismantled communism. There's a lot more to it than that, but they were super instrumental in that. They were the ones that pressured Gorbachev, both from an economic standpoint and a militarily, I don't know. Is that a word? A military standpoint. You get the idea. And then because of that, Gorbachev goes and makes all those reforms, if you remember, Glasnost and Perestroika, that ultimately led to the collapse of the Soviet Union. And that's when Reagan said his famous quote, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall." And fun fact, Thatcher also had a famous quote too. Hers was, "Now this is a man I can do business with." Speaking of Gorbachev.
Oh.
Yeah. So they sort of had like this little sort of torrid love affair between Reg, Gorby, and Thatch. Little bit of huh. So if you thought this was Jejune, there's your spice.
Oh.
There might have been a little three-way. What do you think?
I don't think so.
Okay, whatever. I'm trying to spice it up.
Okay, fair. Well, I know that she did some pretty cool stuff domestically with the economy and then clearly internationally.
Yes.
With the Falkland Islands.
And communism.
And she stood up to communism.
Yes.
But I'm sure there was like bad shit, like things that people talked about her about.
There's always bad shit.
I mean, everyone's always got an opinion, and no one's perfect.
No. Hey, thanks for listening. If you like this content, subscribe, leave a review, and share with us your episode ideas. We'll pretend like they're ours and pass them off as our own. If you like this short and want to watch another, click here. If you want to catch a whole episode, click here.